What if instead of trying to please this woman who you know nothing about, what if you actually thought for yourself, what is it that I'm trying to find out about this woman? What if you changed your intent and your mindset to, okay, I want to say something that'll get her attracted. I want to say something that's going to get a phone number. I want to say something that's going to have us having sex later too. Okay, what do I want to know about this woman? She seems interesting. I like her. What do I want to know about her? And then when you can change the mindset and where everything's coming from, where it's not, what can I get out of this person or what can I figure out about this person? It's, what do I actually want? The whole interaction changes. And you can even see the guys on the other end sit up differently, where they're like, I get to be a part of this too. I get to be selective. I'm not the one who just needs to be selected. That's the first baby intention that they need to have to reset the landscape so that they can approach without putting all of this pressure onto themselves and putting all of this pressure onto the woman that they're approaching and engaging with.
There's something coming over me. I never ever felt so free. I'm flying out the energy. Yeah, I'm feeling kind of crazy. Everything's so amazing. Yeah, I jump so high. I hit the sky. I can't believe I'm so happy. Yeah, I'm feeling good. Never thought I could dream so big. That is so good. Yeah.
Hey there, pine cones. Welcome back to Happy Slut. I'm your host, Samia Mounts. It's so good to have you back. I am obsessed with this week's guest. Okay, we're going to get right into it. One thing that I am trying to do with this podcast is be less polished and arranged and a little bit more easy and natural, a little bit less edits. We got to find a way to make this a thing that I can just keep churning out week after week, no matter what's going on. So like, get ready for me to get a little bit more raw, a little bit less polished. And that's it. Okay, let's get into it. Marni Kinrys. Marni Kinrys is the dating coach of every man's dreams. She, for the last 23 years, has been building an empire based on teaching men. No. Let me say this better. Women teaching men how to flirt with women, how to form connections, and how to spark attraction with women. Marni's story is really interesting. She kind of got her start in the pickup artist world, but then she quickly went off on her own, took what they were teaching and made it not problematic. And I just love what she has to say. It's so aligned with a lot of the stuff that I have to say. Now, if you have not listened to the episode with anonymous guest Alex, it's a few episodes back in the feed. It's called He Thought Women Were the Problem. That's a really cool episode to listen to as a companion to this one, because basically Alex is Marni's client. Like, he is representative of so many of her clients. If you are a guy listening who desires connection with women or with men or with anyone, but you feel like you are awkward and you don't feel good about yourself and you just can't figure out how to approach people, Marni's your girl. All right, I'm not even going to say anything else. Let's hear from Marni. Here she is, of the Wing Girl Method, Marni Kinrys. Marni Kinrys, welcome to Happy Slut.
Oh, thank you for having me. I love the name of your podcast. I think it's so because sluts are happy.
You know what? Proud sluts who embrace their sluttiness are the happiest people.
Happiest people in the world. Yes.
100%.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's hard for marketing, but
I know. Same with my podcast, Turn Her On. It's like, how do we pitch this idea to other people? Yeah.
Yeah, but
well, you find your audience. That's the whole thing.
Exactly. And like, I really want to push back on this idea that embracing your sexuality is somehow not wholesome. Like it actually is.
It's the most wholesome thing in the entire world.
It literally makes you a better, happier, more decent person.
100%. Who just showed me a video? Oh no, it was somebody that I interviewed on my podcast that was from Switzerland originally. And she was like, we talk about sex at the dinner table with our 11-year-olds in Switzerland. Like, it's so normalized. We walk around naked. We take baths with our kids. Like, it's so normalized that sex is like an enjoyable experience that you should be happy to opt into when you decide to do it. So I'm on the same page as you.
We make it weird in the
US.
US.
Too sinful. Yeah.
We have some growing up to do.
I think so too, in many areas, but definitely in this one.
Take a cue from our European
Yes.
elders.
Yes.
All right, Marni, I've been so excited to talk to you. You are tremendous and prolific. You're a relationship coach, a dating coach. You're a dating coach.
Attraction coach. I would say I'm more of an attraction coach.
Attraction coach.
Yes, an attraction coach. Yeah.
You specialize in helping men connect with women in a way that feels more authentic and grounded and intimate. And I think it's so important, this work that you're doing, especially right now where we're in this moment in history where I feel like the dismantling of the patriarchy is like right there. We're almost there. But like women are demanding better treatment and more connection and intimacy, and men don't know how to step up quite yet. So you're there on the front lines helping them. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely.
First of all,
you're welcome.
You're doing the goddess's work.
Okay.
I want to know a little bit about you. How did you come to be this person who's this wonderfully successful, popular dating coach? Like you've got all the YouTube subscribers. You've got, this incredibly successful practice. People are really listening to what you have to say. What started you on this journey?
I'm like, why do they listen to what I have to say? No, I did it by accident. I did it as a joke. So I was at a singles mixer. I was 23 years old at a singles mixer. I had just met my now husband. So I was window shopping at this singles mixer. Didn't see anything that I liked. And so I was like, okay, nobody's talking to each other. I'm going to go help some of these guys out because they're not going and interacting with the women, but I can see that they want to. So I went up to one guy and I was like, which one do you want to talk to? And he's like, that girl over there. I was like, great. Okay. Tuck your shirt in, do this, say this, come over with me. I'm going to make you look good. And I started a conversation for him. And when it was going well, I backed off. And then I started doing it with more people that were there. And by the end of the night, people were mixing. One couple that I had introduced were making out in the corner. And I went home totally buzzed from the experience. And I said to my roommate, who was 10 years older than me, male and an entrepreneur. And I said, I know what I want to do with my life. I want to be a wing girl. And he goes, no way can you be a wing girl. Guys don't care what women think. They don't want to hear advice from women. All of these negatives, which is like my go-go juice. So I was like, great. Okay. I disagree with you. And I went into the other room and this is very old and you'll understand because you just revealed to me that you're close to my age too. I posted an ad on Craigslist.
Oh yeah. I remember Craigslist.
Yeah, exactly. In the finding women section or whatever it was, like looking for, I didn't even know what section it was, but it was basically like looking for a women section saying, I'm going to be your wing girl. Sit back and relax. I'll pick up women for you. I'll do all the dirty work. Let me be your wing girl. And by the next morning, I had over 75 guys who responded to me saying, I want a wing girl. What's a wing girl? I've never heard of a wing girl before. So I was like, okay, I've started something interesting here. And so in the very beginning, it was me and one other wing girl would go out with guys and we would pick up women for men. And when we were out doing this, what ended up happening wasn't these like really confident guys who were like, go get her, go get her, go at her. Not that they weren't confident, but they were guys who were so frustrated and so confused and so baffled by how women work that the majority of the time that we were spending on these outings, which is what we called them, were actually spent with them just asking us questions about like how women work. What do they want? Why do they do these things? Why do they do that things? What happened in this situation when I did this with this girl? And we would just break everything down and decode women to them. And so then I think 6 months after I had started this business, I ended up being invited to go speak on a stage for David D'Angelo. I don't know if you know who that is. That was the pickup artist world. That was the only thing available to men at that time because men weren't really allowed to get advice on dating. So they had to do it in all of these underground layers. Yeah. And so I was invited to speak on stage with him. And I didn't know this at the time, but he was filming this conference that he had, a 3-day conference. And then he was using digital marketing, which was not a thing. It is now. It was not a thing back then. And then he would distribute these videos to millions of men all over the world, which quickly shot me up pretty fast in the attraction space for men. But then I learned about digital marketing and creating online content and creating at-home systems for men to be able to learn themselves. Because I did start to realize after a certain period of time, if you do need a woman to attract other women, what's that really saying about you and your masculinity? So I wanted to be able to guide these men in a better way than these pickup artists were on how to get the same things, but have good intention, be authentic, be honest, and still be freaking unattractive. I wasn't trying to wimpify them and make them into nice guys that women aren't attracted to. I wanted to teach them the skills that the pickup artists were teaching them, but teaching them how to have good intention behind it. And so that's what I've been doing for the past 23 years. And now we have an amazing 6 and 12-week coaching program. And we have wing girls all over the world who are helping men attract women. That's great.
Wait, you have wing girls that
Yes.
like are part of your business?
Oh, yes. And you would be such a good wing girl. You're like so the perfect personality.
I
But
would be a
just like
good
these
wing girl. We
you'd
should
be
talk.
so good. We should talk after this because I definitely want you on my podcast. But no, I have these 10. I just had a meeting with them actually, 2 hours ago before a call. We have a weekly call where we have our wing girl meeting. There's 10 of them. They're all so different, so interesting. One swears like a sailor. One is the most demure woman you'll ever. Just but all of these amazing, wonderful personalities of women who work with and coach and help these men become the kind of men they've always wanted to be with women. And they're absolutely amazing.
This is so real. Like I do this in my regular life with
Oh,
guy
but then you
friends
would
of
be a
mine.
good wing girl.
Like 100. And I love what you said about teach them how to do it with good intentions.
Yeah.
The reason the quote unquote nice guy is unattractive to women isn't because he's this sweethearted, wonderful man who's just being overlooked. It's because the nice guy usually has shit intentions and he's only being nice because
get
he's
something.
trying to get something.
Yeah.
And that we can sniff it. And so it's not actually
I love that you just
they're
said
not
you can
nice.
sniff it because that's what I say all the time. We can smell it from a mile away. We may not know how to label it, but it doesn't feel good to us and we just want to be away from it. I really believe that being the nice guy is the other side of the coin from being an asshole. Both people, an asshole to women, a player to women, and a really like a nice guy. And for people who aren't watching the video, I'm putting air quotes because it doesn't actually mean being a nice person. It means being a wimp, ill-intended, hiding your real intentions. You're trying to please and appease to get something that you want. They are both doing the same things. They are misrepresenting themselves in order to get something that they want. And it's usually based in deep insecurities, fears, not great stuff.
No, and it's impossible to approach a woman as a full human being if you're so caught up in your own deep insecurities and then the mask you put on to cover them. You're now
that's so
wall.
funny that you just call. Okay, I'm doing a whole webinar about the nice guy mask. It's so you're like using all my language. I love it. I absolutely love it.
We are aligned. Let's
We
talk. I
are.
want to work for you.
Oh, 100%.
All right. So let's get into it. Let's get into some of the stuff you teach. I mean, you have this amazing video I just watched about how to create an emotional connection with a woman. And we can start there or we could start wherever you'd like. But what are some of the techniques that you share with your clients and that you want men in general who wish to connect with women in a real way to know?
Okay. So I do want to just say one thing before I even answer this. So I want men to connect with women, but even more, I want them to have options because I don't want to paint the picture that I only want to help men get into romantic relationships because as we were just talking about before, there's so many types of relationships that are out there that are healthy and welcomed as long as the other person wants them back. So I'm not like, I just want men to find their special partner. Totally. Find your special partner. But if you want to have sex in a bathroom with somebody who wants to have sex in a bathroom with you for a one-night stand, do it. And I want to help you get there because you know how to trigger different points of attraction in the women that you're talking to that will get you to that place to have consensual sex in the bathroom at a bar. Like that's what I'm all for. So, I mean, we have so many different techniques and tactics that we help these men tap into. But the biggest one is the beginning and the starting point for so many guys. And it's kind of what we just talked about with this nice guy mask. It's helping them change their mindset in the very beginning. So most of the guys that I do work with, they're not the assholes and the players. They are the typical nice guys, right? And usually they are really sweet and nice. But they do things that are ill-intended because they're not really doing the things that they want to. So the first baby step that we work on with them is changing up their mindset and changing up their intentions, like really identifying what their intentions are. So for example, this one guy that I just got off the phone with a few hours ago, who is a client of mine in my inner circle coaching program. 2 weeks ago, we had our first session with each other, and he was talking to me about how difficult it is to date women. He never knows what to say. He always tries to say the right thing and he screws up. And I said to him, well, what if you start thinking about it differently? What if instead of trying to please this woman who you know nothing about, what if you actually thought for yourself, what is it that I'm trying to find out about this woman? What if you change your intent and your mindset to, okay, I want to say something that'll get her attracted. I want to say something that's going to get a phone number. I want to say something that's going to have us having sex later too. Okay, what do I want to know about this woman? She seems interesting. I like her. What do I want to know about her? And then when you can change the mindset and where everything's coming from, where it's not, what can I get out of this person or what can I figure out about this person? It's, what do I actually want? The whole interaction changes. And you can even see the guys on the other end sit up differently, where they're like, I get to be a part of this too. I get to be selective. I'm not the one who just needs to be selected. And it's a whole shift for so many of them. And that's hard to put into practice. It takes a few weeks because it's programming that's been inside of them for so long that they have to slowly reverse. So the first step is noticing when you go into this pleasing space or you go into this, I'm trying to figure out how to do things for them. You have to notice that you're doing it, reverse it, and then replace it. And usually what I do with these guys is we create a new intention for them. So many guys have difficulties approaching a woman because, again, they have this laundry list of things of like, what can I get from her? Versus looking at a woman and saying, oh, she's cute. I'm attracted to her. Let's see if she's interesting, right? That's the first baby intention that they need to have to reset the landscape so that they can approach without putting all of this pressure onto themselves and putting all of this pressure onto the woman that they're approaching and engaging with.
And just that is such an earth-shifting shift
Switch.
to make.
Yes.
Switch, yeah.
No, it's a switch. It's a switch for them.
It is, because the starting point is, I need to impress her. She's better than me. I'm nothing. Like it is a starting point of low self-esteem, low
100%.
self-worth, low self-regard. She's on a pedestal and it's scary and I'm going to fuck it up. But the second you go, oh, she's beautiful, let me find out if she's interesting.
Yeah.
You're putting yourself in a better position. You're regarding yourself in a more positive way. And you're curious. So you're more
100%.
likely to approach her as a human being.
Exactly. And the thing is that then you can slowly start to escalate things after when you only focus on these like little intentions every single time. Because when you're 3 steps ahead, you're not present in the interaction. And when you're not present, you're not really seeing things about the other person. And women can feel that instantly. When you're 2 steps ahead, which means that you're trying to get something from me, I'm not going to want to give anything to you because all I'm feeling is this pressure, inconsistency, creepiness, whatever I want to label it as. It doesn't feel good. Women are feelers. We feel you out first. We don't logically look at you and say, oh, you seem like a nice guy. You probably have a good job. We're not thinking about those things. We're feeling it in our bodies. And if you don't feel good to us, we're not letting you get past a certain stage with us.
And the thing is that's not something that only women do. Men do it too. Men are feelers too.
Yeah.
And I've found with men, the more they've deconstructed sort of patriarchal norms of what men are supposed to be and what women are supposed to be and have leaned into more of like everybody's a human, they start to get more selective. They start to get more curious. They start to get more self-protective because they don't want to just, have sex with anybody or date anybody. It starts to become this process of let me see who I actually vibe with. And if I feel safe with her, and that's thought of as a feminine thing. Because of, I think, patriarchy, having feelings and being attuned to feelings and wanting to feel safe is thought of as a feminine thing. But that's an everybody thing.
It should be an everybody thing.
It works better when it is.
100%. 100%. I love how you just phrased that because, yes, I completely agree with you.
Thank you. And allowing men to take themselves out of this never-ending position of like, I need to prove myself and prove that I'm a man and win the girl. Like, a girl's a prize. Like, we need to throw that mentality away, but it's hard because that is the reigning paradigm of our culture.
Yes.
For all of my straight and bi men listening and my gay and bi women listening, everybody who has sex with women and wants to do better, I've got a product for you. Have you heard of Kenneth Play? He is an Adonis of a man, and he has put together a video course teaching others how to please women the way only he knows how. I have personally had the pleasure of spending an intimate evening with Kenneth. I don't think I've ever had a first-time sexual encounter with somebody that was just 100% pleasurable. There was never a moment of pain. There was never a moment of meh. He knew my body better than I knew my body. He found pleasure spots in me that I did not know I had, and he made me come many times. I have gifted his web course, Beyond Satisfied Pro, to lovers of mine, and in every case, they have become better lovers as a result. And now I would like to gift this to you with a 15% discount. Go to kennethplay.com/closeted. That link gets you 15% off Kenneth's Beyond Satisfied Pro course. This is just for my listeners. Trust me. No one regrets being great in bed, and this course will get you there. kennethplay.com/closeted. So, yeah, like, okay, so that's great. All right, go on.
Okay, no, and so I can go to many different stages. So like the main thing that we do focus on is flirting. Like my F formula is my number one program that I sell to people. And it is about, I know we talked about it being like a bit of a mental crisis for men right now, but yeah. I really do think it is a crisis that so many men do not know how to flirt, and they're not flirting. Because I think that what's missing for so many men in order to create chemistry is the ability or inability to be able to flirt with women. And so many men are afraid to flirt, afraid to take a risk, afraid to put themselves out there that way, either because they don't know how to do it, they think it's disrespectful, right? They have so many things going on in their head that literally stop them from being able to be flirtatious with women. So all of my programs build men up to a place where they're more comfortable flirting. So like I have a million techniques that I can share with you, but it goes in stages. So first the mindset has to come right into place, because you have to know that like, I can flirt. I can be selective. I'm freaking awesome. And I don't have to appease and please this woman in front of me that I don't even know anything about, right? She's not better than me. And then there's skill sets that you have to learn: how to get over approach anxiety, how to talk to women, how to connect with women, how to speak with emotion when talking to women so that there can be a bit of a roller coaster experience that entices women even more. And then it goes into actual flirting styles and tactics that you can use to spark attraction in women.
Let's do a case study. So just a few weeks ago on this show, I had an anonymous guest who is a man in his 40s. He is straight. He's cisgender. He has only ever dated a woman for 3 months, ever. That's the longest relationship he's ever had. He had a year-long situationship once, but other than that, he's had, one-night stands and a lot of sex with sex workers because he is so afraid to approach women. He gets panic attacks the second he starts thinking about it.
Yeah, he loses himself whenever he's around a woman.
Totally loses himself. So like...
Well, actually, I don't know. Does he have himself when he's out of a situation with a woman? I don't know what he's like in his everyday life. So he might lose himself in every situation.
That's a good question. I'm going to send him to you.
Okay.
But he was on this show talking about this and just really saying, like, I start shaking. I'll see a woman that I think is attractive and I want to talk to her, but I start shaking. I can't speak. I can't breathe. It's like a panic attack, and it doesn't stop until I take myself out of the situation.
Yeah.
How would you work with a guy like that?
I mean, we would first figure out exactly where these feelings are coming from. Like, what is the overwhelm that he's experiencing? So it sounds like there's a lot of pressure that he's putting onto himself. He sounds like he's very outcome dependent, like large outcome dependent. So we would work on reframing his mindset, but reframing the way that he talks to himself and the way that he thinks, because that's the biggest challenge for so many guys. So like guys will get into calls with me and they'll start like without even knowing it, putting themselves down for like the
Yeah.
first 10 minutes of conversation, like telling me all the things that are negative about them. But they're just talking and they're not even realizing that they do this. So we'll work. I know this sounds like so like hokey pokey or whatever, like, but but it really matters. Like the way that you talk to yourself and think about yourself dictates how you navigate throughout the world. And especially if you're talking about yourself to women, like to me, I know that I'm a coach and I'm there to hear all of the shit that goes through people's heads, but like you are literally telling me how to treat you and how I should think about you without me actually getting to feel you and have an experience with you. So the main thing that we do first is we catch people on the BS that's coming out of their mouth and the negative talk that's impacting their daily lives. So we help them catch it when they think it, when they speak it to themselves, or when they speak it to other people. And that's the first thing that I would work on with this guy is just like having him notice how many times he is putting himself down. So some of the guys I tell him to get a ticker, or sometimes I can say it. There's like an app on the iPhone as well, where you can, it's like a virtual ticker, and I'll have them do it for the next week to see how many times they're putting themselves down. And they'll come back and like literally guys will come back with hundreds, thousands, like so many times on a daily basis. They're shitting on themselves constantly. I'm like, how are you going to attract somebody if you feel this shitty about yourselves? Like, then not only am I going to have to be convinced on my own that you're wonderful, but like you're also telling me not to be attracted to you. So you're like, there's no way that I can get into that bubble, nor do I even want to try, because the energy that you're putting off is stay the hell away from me. I'm not good enough for you, so don't even try. So that would be the first thing that I would tackle with him. And then we would also then rebuild. We'd find the positives. So like if your brain is constantly thinking towards the negative, it's really hard for it to go in that opposite direction. So we would help him figure out the 20 freaking amazing things about him. And so many guys have such difficulty with this, but we work on it together, pull those things out together, and find out what's awesome about them. Because every single person is interesting that I talk to. Every single person is wonderful. They just aren't selling it the right way. So that's the main thing that I would do with this guy. But then once he like feels good about himself, then I would get him out and mingling with people, and then he'd be scared again, right? He'd probably like revert back a little bit, but he'd be armed with something. And then I would give him the skill sets. I would help him learn how to talk to people using my method, which is called OSA, observe, share, and ask. I would teach him LCA, learn, confirm, affirm. Like we would teach him all of the skill sets and tools that he needs to be able to talk to women, approach women, engage with women, flirt with women, banter with women, have emotional connection, have great conversations, and connect to women. Like that's what our whole inner circle program is. It's like this 12-week journey to be able to acquire each of those skills.
It's really incredible that you are talking about the foundational thing is just getting a guy to stop shitting on himself so much.
Yes.
That is really the thing. I mean, that's what I talked to this guy who was on my show about, because it really was that.
I listened to that episode.
Did you?
Yes, I did. Because I think Madison told me to listen to it before, and I just remembered that I listened to that episode.
Oh, I love that. That makes sense. So you know exactly who I'm talking about. He had this whole journey where he was this sensitive kid who got bullied a lot. Yeah. He got, sort of emotionally traumatized, getting rejected by girls as a really young boy.
Yes, he's constantly being told he's not good enough. So he believes it because your brain has to believe it if everybody else is telling you it.
And then he compensated as a younger man by becoming the asshole, the asshole mask, which is the other side of the coin of the nice guy mask. And now he's got the nice guy mask, and he can't break out of this prison of just feeling like he is shit, but he's not shit. He's great. Yeah.
But in his mind, he has all of this evidence to say he is shit. So we have to be able to break that.
Yeah. And in his mind, I think he believes, and tell me if this resonates, that he would feel better if he could just get a woman to pay attention to him. Yes. So he's outsourcing his own self-regard to strangers he doesn't know and can't approach as full human beings because he's so busy shitting on himself that he's not seeing them.
Yes.
So, that's tremendous. Like, and I think that
like 80% of our clients right there.
Yeah. How long does it typically take you to get them past that first part? Because that seems like very
it can be for
difficult.
some guys, it can take a longer period of time. So our program is a 6-week program or a 12-week program. I would say by week 5 is when guys get into their stride. So we like attack it from all angles. So it's like a men's group. There's some group coaching, right? So you have the male support. You get to see that other people who maybe don't look like you, but there's hundreds of other men who are experiencing the same thing. So right away, like that helps the situation. So they have that male support group aspect of it in our group coaching. And then they have these amazing wing girls that they work with who are women who actually are nice to them, who listen to them, who are supportive of them, and then also call them on their shit when they're being away that isn't serving them properly. And then they have one-on-ones with them as well. They have flirting sessions so that they're getting like attacked from every angle. But usually by week 5 is when they come on and they're like, okay, this is clicking. And then they'll start saying all of the things that are happening to them. So there's this one exercise that we have guys do, which so many guys in our program have said it's the most impactful exercise. So once they get up to a certain point in their mindset shifting, in reframing, I ask them to go up to 10 women and ask these women if they think that they're sexy. Not that if the women think that they're sexy, if they think that he is sexy. So it's an exercise in many, like that has many different angles, I guess. I'm trying to say like it hits many different parts, right? It's an exercise in boldness. It's an exercise in saying things that are a little bit risk taking. It's an exercise to see how people are going to respond to you when you do these things. It's an exercise in comfort. It's like vulnerability in so many different areas. And most men say like this is the tipping point for them when they go out and they ask these women. They don't get slapped on the face. They don't get water thrown into their face. They get really awesome women going, okay, let me think. And then they give like a really good response to these men. And it pumps these men up that they said something that they thought was off the table and totally like not appropriate for them to say and didn't get slapped across the face. And so many other things like that just help build their confidence. And then they love going out and asking this question. Plus, it's a great conversation starter. Why are you asking this question? Okay, I'll tell you why I'm asking this question. It's just like a good starting off point for so many men. So like,
do you think I'm sexy?
Do you think I'm sexy? I know this might sound weird, but even like some guys even say, I'm doing this program right now and I'm supposed to go out and ask, do you think I'm sexy? And most women, I have never really heard of a situation where a woman's like, that's so inappropriate. Don't ask me that. Most women will really like take the time to say, yeah, you know what? Actually, that was really sexy that you asked that question. Like, they have different responses, but they have the most considerate and kind responses to these men that ask the question, and that boosts their confidence. So much of what we do, I believe, is really just give men permission to do the things that they want to do. Because I think, and I know you started it off by talking about like the patriarchy. So I've been working with men for 23 years. So I see this world a little bit differently. Like my lens is very different because I only get to work with unbelievable men who are so vulnerable with me all the time and tell me all the shit that happens to them from women, right? Like so much stuff. And the lens that I'm looking at it from for them is that the world is just moving so fast ahead of them, you know, like the world is passing them by and kind of forgetting about them. And so many men don't know what their place is anymore because these are good men. Other assholes don't care. They're like, I'm just going to take up space in one other category and I'm going to go to this other extreme. These are really good men who are like, I want to be considerate. I want to respect that there is an equality in certain areas. I want to be like, these are really, really good men who I think are just trapped by all of this stuff going on around them. So they don't know what their place is anymore. So us giving them permission to say, yeah, women want to be approached on the street. They don't want to be bothered. They don't want to be bogged down by somebody like who doesn't know how to have a conversation or can't be entertaining. But yeah, if I go out, like, yeah, I want to be approached and I want to be interacted with. They like hearing that there's permission there to do that. So most of the time it's just saying like, no, I would be totally into that. But again, I wouldn't be into it if you made me carry the conversation, if you made me be the funny one, if you made me be the leader, I would find a quick way to exit the conversation. But if it's somebody who's engaging, who can see me, who isn't looking 10 steps past me, I'm in.
I totally hear what you're saying. And I want to be clear that when I talk about patriarchy, I'm not talking about men. I'm talking
No,
about the
I know.
system.
And I know you weren't. Yeah.
And I see patriarchy as a system that is hurting men very badly.
Very much.
In different ways that it hurts women, but it's just as crippling. Like it is a terrible thing to take a small boy and cut him off from his emotions.
Yes.
And
I
we're doing
agree.
that. So of
agree.
course they grow into men. I mean, and yes, you're right. Like there's so many unbelievably good men. I have so many incredible men in my life. One of my sweethearts, long distance sweethearts, is this amazingly considerate, delightful man who just like loves women and is generous and is attractive. He's really hot. Has never had a match on Field, which is
really
the dating app
on
he uses
Field.
On Field, has never had a match. He's a hottie. He's got a great career. He's like everything is going for him, and he's never had a match. And he has no idea why, and he's afraid to approach women in public because he doesn't want to bother them. So it's like,
yes, doesn't want to bother them, exactly.
And he doesn't feel bad about himself. Like he has a girlfriend, like he's got stuff going on. He's not like super down on himself, like, you know, this other man who was on my show, but runs into the same problems. Yep. So what would you say to a man? First of all, do you coach people on their dating profiles? I'm interested in that.
Yes. 100%. Yes.
Amazing.
100%.
So what would you say to a man like that who's like, I'm not dealing with terrible self-esteem issues, but I just feel like I don't know the rules anymore.
Right. Well, we would explain the rules. And we would explain, really, the majority of like what my business started in was really just providing the female perspective, like the honest female perspective about what we think, what's going on. And again, so like so many guys are like, oh, why would I ever want to get advice from women? They don't know what they're talking about. They don't give good advice. A lot of women don't give good advice because they typically advise men from a place of, if I was attracted to this man, this is what I would want. So what I do is, and what all the girls in my company do, is we advise men from the place of, okay, here's how I would think if I wasn't attracted to a man, and here's the things that would be able to trigger me. So I don't know enough about this guy, but if he has all of these great things on paper and he's an awesome guy and he has a girlfriend, I'd have to see his profile to see what is going on.
Where he's going wrong.
Like, yeah, where he's going wrong. Because I mean, that's a big bulk of the guys that we work with as well. They're like, no, I got the self-confidence stuff down. I just want to learn the skills. I just want to learn how to do X, Y, and Z, or get over that hurdle because I believe these things about women. So that is totally in our wheelhouse. But I'd need to know either what his limiting beliefs are, but this is just from a profile right now. So I would be interested in seeing his profile to see what's going on.
We did
Unless
have
he's on Field and saying like, I'm looking for a serious relationship. That would be the only thing that.
No, he's not. He's not on there.
So
doing
that's,
that. He's,
yeah.
yeah. Okay. Tell me about Observe, Share, Ask.
Okay, so OSA, observe, share, ask. It's my way of breaking into conversation with people. So a lot of guys, one of their biggest struggles is I never know what to say. I don't know how to start a conversation with a woman. And so OSA is my way of talking to other individuals, women for these guys, but just like people in general. It's my favorite way of talking to people, to new people. And you can actually even use it with the people that you already know, but it's a way of talking to people as if you already know them. Right? There's no barriers that you have to get past. There's no permission that you're asking for. There's no, hi, my name is Marni. I saw you from across the room. You're really It's none of that. You just talk to them as if you already know them. And then they'll also talk to you as if they already know you. So you make an observation like, oh, that's
genius.
That's a cool background. Like, what is that? Right? Then it's the share. It actually reminds me of Mario Brothers for some reason. Like, you know, those blocks in Mario Brothers. Right? Like,
yes!
but it's a share. And then it's an ask. Have you ever played Mario Brothers? Do you know what I'm talking about? Right? So it's a way for us, because it's an observation. So I'm showing you a little piece of myself. I'm showing you like where my brain goes to and what I find interesting. And then with the share, I'm expanding on the share. I'm telling you why I made that observation, why it piqued my interest, which typically, if you do it properly, can also show value about who you are. Right? So I didn't necessarily exhibit value, but I did show you that I know video games, I play video games, and I'm kind of a fun person, right? So that's giving you a little bit of tidbit into my personality. And then I'm asking, so I'm opening it up so that I bring you into the conversation. So that I'm not just talking at you, I'm bringing you into the conversation. And you can repeat OSA numerous times in conversation. It's very similar to the blurt out method, because I think that that's so important for men who
The blurt
struggle.
out method?
Yeah, where like so many men are so filtered when they talk to women. It's like the nice guy issue, that they're so afraid to say certain things, so they think that it's off the table or it's offensive or it's going to get them disliked in in a way. So they filter themselves so much that they never actually say anything of value or anything that's interesting. But in the very beginning, I really want guys to just start blurting things out of their mouth, like literally just saying things that
Dangerous.
Yes, exactly. But to show, kind of like the "do you think I'm sexy," that when you do just say things that come to your mind, they're actually of interest to other people, right? Because it's showing how your brain works. And yes, you might screw up a couple of times and say things that are too extreme or too sexual, whatever it is. But most often what you're really going to do is just give yourself permission to say the things that you think. And then the people around you will be like, oh, that was actually an interesting comment or an interesting question. I'm going to latch on to that. So OSA, blurting out, and then there's LCA. I have like a million things for you.
Yeah,
if you
what's
want,
LCA? That was, hold on. let me see if
learn,
I can remember.
confirm, affirm.
Learn, confirm, affirm. Yeah, tell me about that.
So it's looking at a woman, you're having a great conversation. You guys are like the flow of conversation is great. You've used OSA, you've used conversation threading so that the conversation actually goes towards something or doesn't stick on the same topic. And then when something of potential substance is said, not of like great substance, but something interesting, right? Something about this woman that she's revealed or something that's of interest to you. So you listen and you learn to what's being said. It can be something as simple as, when I was younger, I loved dancing, but I gave it up because I don't know. I just wasn't as good as the other girls. Like something that you're talking about on your date. Let's say that comes up. And so you listen to it and you go, okay, I learned something about her. She was a dancer. And then you confirm that you've heard it. So you can confirm by nodding, or you can say, oh, that was cool, and mirror it back to her. Say the same sentence back to say, I heard that you danced when you were younger. And then you can affirm, which is really a statement at the end where it's saying to this woman, because you've said this about yourself, or because you've revealed this about yourself, or because you've said it in that way, I kind of like you more. Right? So you just so I would say something like, oh, so you were a dancer when you were younger, but you gave it up because you didn't think you were as good as anybody else. I've never had somebody be so honest with me. That was really brave of you to be able to tell me that you gave something up that you loved because it scared you. What do you think? Like something like that. So it's like a landing moment of connection. It doesn't always have to be that intense or that serious, but it's just something that says like, now you've got my attention.
Yeah.
Now there's something interesting about you.
Something as simple as, that must have been a really hard decision to make. And I just want you to know that I think dancers are magical, and doing it at all is the coolest
Yeah, exactly.
thing.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Like that's like so sexy how you just said it. I know, but it has impact on women because they're being heard. You're also saying it from a place of, I'm also selective, and I've just selected you a little bit more because of what you just revealed to me. It's hot.
Yeah.
It's very hot for both of us. And then you can hold that tension there by making great eye contact with a little smirk on your face. And then you lean back afterwards, and that builds more tension. So it's just like, there's so many things that these men that we work with are nervous to do, but as soon as we give them permission to do it, then they're amazing at it. Then they're like, okay, this is easy. I did this when I was 20. Now I remember again. Now I'll do it again.
It's almost as if we are naturally social creatures who have the ability to connect with each other baked into us.
Exactly. Exactly. Isn't it so funny?
See, the reason I talk about patriarchy so much is because I believe that this system is responsible for the felt lack of connection that everyone is screaming about, the male loneliness epidemic.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, that's just like the latest catchphrase. There's been a problem with connection and intimacy amongst humans forever. And it seems to be getting worse in the modern age with technology and all of that. But like, we are social creatures. Like, this stuff is inside of us. There is an aspect to this of, I'm drawing something out of you that's already there. that has been beaten out of you by a problematic culture. It's not your fault.
Yeah.
You got
Or no,
it in
even
you. Pinecones, you might have heard my interview with Dr. Elliot Justin, founder of Affirm. And if you did, you know all about how exciting the tech ring is. It's a health wearable that improves men's sexual performance and gives them priceless health data that can act as an early indicator of heart issues. Yeah. During sex, it keeps you hard and makes your orgasms crazy. And during sleep, it tracks your nocturnal erections, which can literally tell you if you have issues with your heart or hormone levels before they get really bad. This product saves lives and marriages. And I'm really excited to give you a 15% discount on any of FirmTech's products with code CLOSETED at checkout. In addition to the tech ring, they also have the performance ring, a non-tech cock ring that features a really cool hook and eye design to avoid having to shimmy the ring down the length of your cock, which, if you've tried that, it's not the sexiest. They also have the Ring Mate, a vibrating attachment that works with the tech ring and performance ring and can also be used on one's fingertips. Ooh la la. Get yours today by going to myfirmtech.com and using code CLOSETED at checkout. myfirmtech.com, code CLOSETED at checkout. You're welcome.
Yeah. Well, so that's the thing. I think these are skills. These are habits that we can get into. So if this is what you want, you have the ability to do it. There are many people who are like, no, I don't want to do that. That is totally fine to me. But so many men that come to me will work with them and they'll struggle in the beginning because it's hard for them to open themselves up in this way. And then we just reiterate so many times because I think the big fear for them is that they're changing who they are to get a woman, right? And so we'll usually say to them, no, we're not changing anything about you. We're just opening you up to opportunities. We're showing you that there are options available. And these are the things that make it happen. If you don't want to do them and you don't want the end result, that is totally up to you and you make that choice. But these are the things that are needed in order to get those things. And you can do it on whatever scale you want to. You can be dating 10 women at a time if that's what you want to do. Or you could only focus on one woman and that's fine. As long as you're still doing it from a place of confidence and knowing that it's not a big deal if that one situation doesn't work out.
Right. Everything can't hang on the validation of one person.
Yeah.
What would you say to a guy who really felt that his looks were the problem and there was no way to move forward because he can't change the way he looks?
No, I'd say let's work with your looks. If that's really the sticking point and that's the belief system, I say let's work with your looks. Like let's get you some good style. Let's do your hair a little bit differently. Like let's style you up. So we have a stylist that we work with as well, who every guy who's in our program goes and does a consult with her. These men, like how they come back. So she's magical at seeing who's inside of them and then just putting it into their style. Because there's this one guy who wrote to me and said, oh, I had a consult with Goldie. She's very East Coast. I'm very West Coast. And I don't think her style is going to apply to me. I was like, send over a few pictures of you. And he sent over these pictures of him wearing these super tight jeans, these massive belts, these oversized shirts that made him look so frumpy and unattractive. And I was like, that's not West Coast. This is this is not a good style for you. He was 58. He looked 72 because of how he was dressed. And I was like, this is just, I'm on the West Coast too. I was like, this is my opinion. I am telling you, if you listen to her and let her just shift a few things, put you in clothes that actually fit you, not necessarily changing the clothes that you have, you are going to see a huge shift in how women respond to you. And he did finally listen and he did see different results from women. And then he felt more attractive. He did. Like even me, like I know when somebody else dresses me up or I put a little bit of makeup on, which I'm not wearing right now, but when I put some of it on, I feel better about myself. I do see that I can be attractive. And the wonderful thing about women for men is that looks are not everything to us. Like literally, I have had it where men who I did not see as being attractive, their faces start to morph in front of me and become appealing with their personality being freaking amazing. If they are funny, if they're super smart, if they know how to have conversations, like their face will look different to me than when they walked in the door. So a little bit of style and then zhuzhing up their personality can go a long way with women. So I would squash that belief very fast with that guy.
Thank you so much for saying all of that. Like, you hit every point that I was hoping you would, because this is something a lot of people, I mean, the manosphere is out there now telling men that they need to focus on getting 6-pack abs and 6-figure incomes. And that's what's going to get you a date. And it's like, and they're just totally missing the whole idea of being a decent human being. And it's so rough.
But there is like a little bit of honesty there. There is like, so this is the thing. It's like,
you don't
everything.
need a 6-pack to get a date.
No, you definitely do not need a 6-pack. I will tell you, my husband does not have a 6-pack. He will never have a 6-pack, and he can date me for the rest of my life because I absolutely think he's amazing. But I am saying there are minor truths in these bigger, more, I don't even know, like exaggerated versions of the manosphere. Like a lot of things that they say in the manosphere, like they are truths. Men with 6-packs who do have a lot of money are going to get more immediate attention. It is a fact, because it is an ideal that people think in their heads is attractive. Does it mean that they're actually going to get more dates? Does it mean that they're going to get more sex? Does it mean that they're going to get more long-term relationships? Does it mean that they're going to get more casual relationships? No, it does not mean that at all. But will it get you a foot in the door? It will. And you, like, women aren't blind. It is a little bit about looks. And what your abs and your success say about you are that you're a driven man who puts in effort, who's capable of doing, like, all of those things that they're talking about. They do signal other things to women. So there is truth in what they're saying, but it's not the full truth, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's not the full truth at all. The problem with the manosphere is that it approaches women as less than fully human.
Yes.
Like,
same thing with the pickup artist industry that I was part of. They had to put women down in order to feel lifted up. But there are truths in what they teach, because they use psychology for all of the attraction skills that they teach. There is truth there. Like, you don't have to call it manipulation. You can call it attraction. But so many of them were objectifying and manipulating versus using it as psychological tactic or a technique to create more connection. It really is about how you think about it. And when I watched that Manosphere documentary, I was intrigued by it because I probably didn't look at it the same way as so many other people. I wasn't as offended by it, to be honest. I get what they're saying, but it's just so extreme to me. But there is so many truths that are in there that you should be a man who takes care of himself. Same thing with a woman. You should take care of yourself. Be healthy, go to the gym, feel good about yourself, eat really good foods, like, not fend for yourself, but you should want bigger. You should want bigger things for yourself.
Ladies.
Yes, exactly. But I hate when it gets to these extremes of, like, don't take the pill and do this and invest in this, and but what they're really saying is, be your own person. Advocate for yourself. Stand up for yourself. Make your own experiences happen. Don't let other people tell you what to do. Doesn't mean like shit on your boss, right? But like, stand up for yourself. Ask for the things that you want. Like, so there's amazing.
Those are
nuggets
positive messages. Yeah,
they're wonderful. But
when they're completely tangled up in just overt misogyny,
yes.
It takes that positive messaging and it turns it into something that's deeply negative and bad for 100%.
100%.
And I feel so bad for these men who are like following these manosphere influencers, because first of all, the image that they're putting out, like this guy Clavicular or
because they're not real.
Tiki-talkie, whatever.
Yes.
They're not actually experiencing true intimacy and joy in their relationships. And you can fucking tell by the way their girlfriends look at them. Like,
I know. Well, it was interesting.
They're selling a lie.
That one guy who did the podcast that was in the manosphere, like, you could see how insecure he was. Like, when he got on that mic, he was one personality, but that woman ruled him when he got off of that mic, 100%. And when he was saying those things in front of her, he was like, I am going to be fucked later. Like, and not in a good way, because she's going to go. It wasn't consistent. But the one guy that threw me was the British one, who everything that he did, he acknowledged how shitty it was, and
The one whose mom was in the documentary?
Yes, and that was interesting
That's
too.
HS Tiki-Taki.
Yes. That's him.
It was fascinating.
He was interesting to me because he wasn't touting a false belief for people. He was very clearly saying, I know what I'm doing and I'm okay with it. And that, even though it's shitty, and you may think I'm a bad person for saying this, but like there was something that I respected about that for some reason. Not that I respect him, but like I don't know. There was something that I liked about that. He wasn't being false, and that's what he genuinely was that way, right? And believed in what he was doing, even though it was knowledgeable that it was shitty. Like, I don't want to be friends with him. I don't want people to listen to him. But there was I don't know. I can't really explain it to you. But there was something that I liked more than watching the other guys. Because the other guys, you could tell that was all BS and that they weren't really that person when the cameras were off. But even though he was picking up around his mom, you could tell that was who he really was. And he was okay with being shitty.
Yeah, I think that he's in a codependent relationship with his mom, and she's guiding his whole career to make them a ton of money.
I think so too.
And that's why he says things like, well, the other girls aren't like my mom because they're not telling you what to do like she does.
Exactly. And I bet you as soon as one comes along that does, that's when
it might change everything. And it might cause a real problem with his mom. Oh my gosh.
Oh my God, for sure. She'll be like, I lost my boyfriend. It'd be horrible. But so it was interesting in the pickup artist industry. So I started off in that world when I was 24, 25. And everybody was still really young at that point. They were still in their 20s, like early 30s. And as everybody's like aged out, they all started coaching about authenticity. Like they did go in other directions. So I think it is like a young thing. And as soon as they did get this one woman who like makes them see it differently, they're like, oh, okay. Now I see it. It is really interesting. Yeah.
So much of this is about maturity, about growing up, and about healing those childhood wounds that leave you feeling like you don't know how to connect with people. Yeah. Whether you're an insecure man who got rejected by the first girl he tried to tell he liked her, or you're me. I got rejected by the first little boy that I tried to tell I liked him, and had to overcome all of this insecurity to become the person I am today. But it took decades.
Yeah.
So. Marni, I think your insights and your perspective on this is so interesting. The fact that you started in the pickup artist world, which is kind of it looks like the same thing, but sort of philosophically, it's the opposite of what you're doing.
Yeah.
And you use that to skyrocket into this career where you're doing this work, I think is tremendous. And those perspectives that you have, this less judgmental perspective, honestly, than the one that I have. I think
100%. So I will tell you one thing, because I am going to have you be a wing girl. If you're really being serious about that, I would love to.
I am.
The most interesting thing that I have gained from doing this work is like my lens that I see things from. And every woman who starts to work with me, for me, whatever, it just changes for them. Because they just see these men so differently. They realize things that they do that are screwing things up with men, where they're going wrong in their relationships. But more so, like their eyes are open to the fact that men have insecurities. Men are so frustrated. Men are so confused. Women treat them like shit. And like a lot of the times these men have taken it horribly. You just really see it so differently after working with me, because you're working with these amazing men who are telling you all of these things.
Yeah. And I think it's magical.
It is magical.
Where can people find you, Marni?
Okay. Where am I going to tell people to go? Because I have a whole bunch. I forgot to pull this up before, but I have a whole bunch of giveaways that I want to give to your audience.
We love giveaways.
So, what do I want to give today? Do I want to give a flirting cheat sheet away to guys? Do I want to give a text this cheat sheet? I think a flirting cheat sheet. So I want people to go to winggirlmethod.com. So 2 G's, winggirlmethod.com/flirtcs, and go download my free flirting cheat sheet, which like literally teaches you how to flirt with women, a cheat sheet for flirting with women. And it's wonderful. Like thousands of guys have used this flirt cheat sheet to totally change the way that they interact with women, and in a good way, so that they're flirty and fun and blurt out the things they want to be blurting out. So go to, what was it again?
Winggirlmethod.com/flirt
CS. What the hell? It's on my other page and I'm not looking at it. I'll give you a link for it so they can have it afterwards.
It'll be on the screen.
Yes.
It'll be on the screen. It'll be in the show notes. People, go get your free flirt cheat sheet and check out Marni's YouTube channel. All of her links are going to be in the show notes. Her content is fire, and look out for me being an official wing girl sometime
Seriously.
soon. Marni Kinrys, thank you so much for coming on Happy Slut. This was a joy.
This was great. Thank you.
Feeling so alive. So long till the sorry days. Yeah, bye.
I'm happy to report it is official. I am going to become a wing girl. What? I'm spending the month of August training, and starting in September, I'm going to be leading a cohort, assuming everything goes well. Knock on wood. Can you hear this? This is me knocking on my own head in front of the microphone. I don't know if that sound is making it into the recording. I guess we'll find out. Okay. I hope you enjoyed that conversation. I think Marni is so smart, and she has such amazing insights and such a wealth of compassion and a non-judgmental attitude about a group of people that I feel like right now are getting it pretty hard, not undeservedly necessarily, but we don't change from being shamed and ostracized. Like, nobody ever became an amazing person in response to being shamed and ostracized for who they were, especially if they were a person. Like, I think most men who are sort of fumbling their way through talking to women, and maybe not doing the best job, like, I wouldn't say most of those guys are like evil people, right? So if they're not evil, and evil people don't change in response to shame either, because they're evil and they don't care and they can't feel shame. Anyway, point being, people don't change in response to being shamed and ostracized. They change in response to being seen and heard and understood and then guided in a better direction. And that's what Marni and the Wing Girl Method do for men. And I'm super excited to join the team. So, hey, some of us get jobs out of our podcasts, and we love this. We love this. All right. If you're enjoying the show, please leave a 5-star review on whichever platform you're listening on. Those reviews actually help push the show into the ears of new listeners. They're really important. Keep them coming. Thank you to all who have reviewed the show so far. Send me a DM on socials. I'm samia.mounts on Instagram. The show is Happy Slutcast on Instagram and TikTok. And finally, if you'd like to support the work that I'm doing, go become a paying subscriber to my Substack, samiamounts.substack.com. I release essays every weekend. Sometimes it's Friday. Sometimes it's Sunday. I'm no longer promising a day. But every single week you will get an essay from me. Half of them will be paywalled, half of them will be free. The paywalled essays contain the juiciest tidbits from my personal love and sex life. And y'all, there is some juicy, exciting, titillating stuff happening right now that I will be writing about in the coming weeks and months. So head on over. It's going to be compelling. It's going to be hot. It's going to be entertaining and hopefully helpful to you as you continue on your journey of trying to find the most joyful sex life that you can, in spite of patriarchy trying to steal all that pleasure from us. I'm rooting for you, pinecones. I love you. Thanks for listening. I'll be back next week with another conversation with the amazing Amanda Dames of the Kink Consultant podcast. Amanda was last on the show in December when we were still the Closet Ed interview series. And I'm so excited to have her back on. We chatted, we caught up, talked about our relationships, talked about men, talked about kink, talked about patriarchy. It was a great conversation. Always love chatting with Amanda. And, I don't know, like, I just have crushes on all my guests. That's just the way this is going to be, I guess. So tune in next week for that conversation. Until then, do something pleasurable this weekend. Take care of yourselves, pinecones. That's all. Bye, sluts.